So the new Mac Mini is thermal throttling, and I could not care any less. Before we begin, I want to thank you all for the new subscribers and all the views. Thank you for clicking on my videos. And if you want to join the Techno Eclipse community, it's very easy. Send me $20,000 in unmarked bills to a P.O. box that I will send you in a DM. And then all you have to do is hit subscribe, like, comment, share, DM, tweet, post, and like, comment, and share, and then you'll be good. So the new Mac Mini is thermal throttling, and I don't care. Let's just get into it. The new Mac Mini hits temperatures at 100 degrees Celsius, which for those of you who don't know is pretty warm. It's boiling point actually, and I'm not that surprised. A lot of computer guys will say that 100 degrees Celsius is way too hot, and I'll tend to agree with them. Typical operating temperature, to put it in perspective, of a CPU, typically you want to keep it between 40 and 60 degrees Celsius. You can go a little bit warmer. Obviously, if you can go cooler, that's good. But 60 to 70 in that range is sort of the peak you want your CPU at. One, if it gets too hot, it could kill the CPU a little bit earlier. And two, it's just not good to have your system run that warm at all times. But Apple seems to like that. And I'll tell you why. Because they think that performance is just not as important as design. They can cover up some of their performance flaws with software. If you look at Windows and you look at Mac OS, you can definitely see that even with Geekbench scores, you could see that performance on the compute side on Mac OS is just better. It's just objectively better. You can see that the CPU with just running Geekbench does better. I'll show some pictures here of the exact same CPU running on the exact same system with better Geekbench scores, or very similar system with better Geekbench scores on Mac OS. That's just how it is. It's nothing against Windows, it's just Mac OS is just better optimized for its own hardware because it only has to be on a certain number of devices. But those certain devices have terrible cooling. Take, for example, the iMac Pro, downclock 300 megahertz, and it'll still thermal throttle. I'll throw a picture up here. It hits about 95 degrees Celsius and then begins to throttle just a little bit. Another example is the i9 MacBook Pro, even the i7 MacBook Pro. Obviously, those are going to thermal throttle. Those are way too thin, and they have fans that are like this big. So we're not surprised at those thermal throttle. But again, that's another example where Apple prefers design over performance. And to be honest, personally, I wouldn't pay for that extra design premium. I would pay for the software premium, but not the design premium over performance. That's just me. I know a lot of people are different because there are a lot of people who buy Macs. I believe they said Mac OS is on 100 million computers and 59 million of those are Hackintoshes, I'm pretty sure. But when looking at the Mac Mini thermal throttling performance, I'm surprised that everyone is as shocked as they are. They're saying, oh, are you concerned about the Mac Mini thermal throttling? I got a bunch of comments on a video I just recently posted about a Mac Mini versus an iMac Pro, and they said, I wouldn't get it because of thermal throttling. I wouldn't get it because of thermal throttling. Would you still get it even though it's thermal throttling? Of course, it's a Mac computer. They all thermal throttle. It's not like they dip down to 1.6 gigahertz. They run really, really warm. They sound really, really quiet, and they look really, really good. That's just an Apple computer. So in my opinion, who cares that it's thermal throttling? When you buy a Mac, you know that thing is going to get really warm. It's going to be running a great operating system, and it's going to cost you a little bit more than the Windows counterpart. But you are aware of those when you buy it. And to all the people that are super concerned about thermal throttling, it doesn't just dip to like 1 gigahertz. Like, it still works fine. It's not like it just shuts off. It's warm, and Apple probably should have a better cooling solution, but in order to get it in that size, they put an i7-8700 in there. And Intel chips run a little bit warm, in case you didn't know. So I'm not surprised that it thermal throttles, and neither should you, because when you purchase a Mac computer, you are under the assumption that it's going to be a little bit warm. Good design, good software. So that's just a short little video for today. If you liked it, hit subscribe. If you didn't like it, hit unsubscribe. Or hit subscribe, then unsubscribe, and tell me that you did that in the comments. Or if you really didn't like it, say I'm unsubscribing and then unsubscribe. That's what you should do. And then dislike. Yeah, all of those. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.